Welcome to another episode of Codo Cinema, the podcast show where I talk about movies. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codoman. Well, folks, Christmas is right around the corner, and we got another exciting movie to talk about for Codo Cinema Christmas month. Now, before I reveal the movie, a couple things. If you are new to the podcast, welcome to Codo Cinema, the podcast show where I talk about movies. If you are listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more content. And if you are listening to this on Spotify and Podbean, don't forget to hit the follow button as well. So there you have it, folks. And one other thing to mention, my brother Mike is back with me on board as the guest host. Mike, welcome back.
Thank you, Mark.
And now the movie that we are going to talk about. This movie, let's just say this movie has been adapted many times throughout the holiday seasons, and this movie, and of course this adaptation would be from Charles Dickens, and yes, I'm talking about A Christmas Carol. However, this time around, we are going to talk about Robert Zemeckis' take on A Christmas Carol titled Disney's A Christmas Carol.
Sounds very good.
I agree. In fact, the movie itself, now to be quite honest, Mike and I have seen this movie many times around the holiday seasons. Most notably Christmas, obviously. Come on. It's the title of the movie. It's the title, right? A Christmas Carol, which is obviously the book, but also the movie as well.
They actually did that multiple times in different versions.
Right. There has been many adaptations of A Christmas Carol throughout media as well. Like, I don't know how many times they have adapted this book, but they have done it so many times.
They did the one with Albert Finney in 1970.
Right, and then they did Alistair Sim, and then you also have George C. Scott.
That came out in 1984, which turns out to be a television film.
Right, and then of course,
Mickey's Christmas Carol. Disney did that too.
That's right.
A short version.
Right, although theatrically, technically this is the third Disney Christmas Carol movie that Disney. This is the third Christmas Carol movie that Disney has adapted. I guess you could say film wise, Disney has done this 1, 2, 3 times if you count Mickey's Christmas Carol. The second time around was obviously the Muppet Christmas Carol.
You also did that episode a few years ago.
Yes, I have also covered the Muppet Christmas Carol as well, and then of course
Scrooged.
Right, Scrooged. Bill Murray did a spoof on that called Scrooged in 1988. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty other adaptations as well. But I feel like the one that Robert Zemeckis did, I feel like that one deserves attention, to be quite honest.
I totally agree. And there's going to be more Christmas Carol adaptations to come
down the road in the future. But anyway, let's give us our background on this movie, and we will also do a breakdown of this movie too. So, A Christmas Carol, also known as Disney's A Christmas Carol, is a 2009 American animated Christmas fantasy film based on the 1843 novel of the same name by Charles Dickens. Co-produced, written for the screen, and directed by Robert Zemeckis, who is obviously famous for directing the Back to the Future trilogy, Forrest Gump, Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
along with Romancing the Stone, Death Becomes Her, along with motion capture movies that includes The Polar Express, Beowulf, including Christmas Carol, along with the Flight movie, the Witches,
and of course Castaway,
including Allied.
Right, and I'm pretty sure there's a few others as well. Oh, wait a minute, I'm forgetting another one. He went on to direct Pinocchio, the live-action remake of Disney's Pinocchio. How did he get involved with that movie?
Yeah.
Hey, Zemeckis, remember when you had Pinocchio in your Roger Rabbit film? We got a live-action remake of Pinocchio for you to do. Oh, this is heavy. Why did you like the idea? I'll see you real soon. Great Scott.
Well, I guess you could say that was his third Disney movie that he did.
A third Disney movie?
Third Walt Disney Pictures movie. He did Roger Rabbit, which is technically Touchstone, but is also Disney as well.
Right.
And then of course, Disney's A Christmas Carol.
and Walt Disney's Pinocchio.
And Walt Disney's Pinocchio.
And there also Contact, the movie Contact that came out in 1997, which is also a Robert Zemeckis movie.
Did Disney do that?
No.
Okay. So I guess he has been involved with Disney a few times.
He has.
So yeah, pretty much. Well, obviously enough. Like I said, he got involved in the live action remake of Pinocchio, though.
Of course he did, and of course, this is my second Robert Zemeckis film overall in this episode. The second my second.
Your second collaboration with
Second.
me. Your second collaboration talking about a Robert Zemeckis movie.
Right.
Now, of course, moving forward. Yes, I was actually right. It is Disney's third adaptation of the novel following Mickey's Christmas Carol and The Muppet Christmas Carol. Produced by Walt Disney Pictures and Image Movers Digital, a joint venture between Zemeckis' Image Movers and the Walt Disney Company, and released by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. The film stars an ensemble cast, which includes Jim Carrey, Gary Oldman, Colin Firth, Bob Hoskins, Robin Wright Penn, and Carrie Ellis.
That's a huge cast.
Right. Cinematography was done by Robert Presley, with Jeremiah O'Driscoll editing the movie, and of course, longtime film composer who has collaborated with Robert Zemeckis, Alan Silvestri, who provided the film's score. And the movie was released on November 3rd, 2009 in London, and it got a November 6th release date in the United States, with a budget of $175 to $200 million. And the box office for that movie was $325.3 million.
That's an expensive budget right there.
That is an expensive budget, and I'm pretty sure the movie overall really says it all for the budget, because let's be honest, this is a motion capture movie, a technique used in Image Movers' previous animated films, which includes The Polar Express, Monster House, and Beowulf. Plus, this is Robert Zemeckis' third time directing a motion capture movie, even though he was involved in Monster House as an executive producer.
But obviously his last to direct.
Right, this would be his last to direct, because apparently he took a producing role on Mars Needs Moms.
That film really went downhill.
Right, because apparently after the reception of Mars Needs Moms, which came out in 2011, the film did not do well with critics, audiences, nor the box office. That film was so bad, the film bombed so hard that Image Movers Digital shut down
by the Walt Disney Company for unsatisfactory box office results.
Right, at least for that movie. Although, for Disney's Christmas Carol, I mean, I don't know if that film's a bomb or what.
Well, it is kind of hard to say.
I mean, it's hard to say, yeah. I mean, overall, I think the movie did fine overall. Although, with critics, it got a mixed reception. Like, the reviews were mixed. Like, critics criticized its dark tone and script, but praised its visuals, Alan Silvestri's score, and the performances of Jim Carrey and Gary Oldman. And despite the mixed reception, the film was nominated for Favorite Animated Movie, and Jim Carrey won Favorite Voice from an Animated Movie at the 2010 Kids' Choice Awards.
That is amazing right there.
Yeah.
And this is obviously his second voice role overall.
Right, because he voiced Horton in Horton Hears a Who from Dr. Seuss.
Yes. And of course,
speaking of Dr. Seuss, Mike and I already talked about Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, to which Jim Carrey also voiced the Grinch. We did that last year.
Yep.
Yep. So anyway, just to put in more background, so after making The Polar Express, Robert Zemeckis stated that he fell in love with digital theater, and tried finding an avenue to use the format again. He eventually decided that an adaptation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol would be an opportunity to achieve this. Although I guess you could say that was kind of teased in the Polar Express, because here's the thing. When the hero boy was walking inside one of the coaches, there's like this puppet room,
Yes. Oh, yes, the puppet room.
and one of the puppets was Ebeneezer Scrooge. And it's just basically, Tom Hanks doing an Ebeneezer Scrooge impression, basically saying that it's all a bunch of humbug. And obviously, he's just basically messing with the kid.
Of course. And
He's just basically messing with the boy, even though the hero boy doesn't even notice.
no, he doesn't.
He doesn't know it was the hobo guy doing the Ebeneezer Scrooge impression.
Right. And also, he also says one more thing to the boy before heading up to the hill. He says, "Do you believe in ghosts?"
I guess that says it all for Zemeckis to direct A Christmas Carol.
Interesting.
Using motion capture.
Yeah, motion capture. The third time.
Third time. Let's be honest, the movie alone is a visual spectacle.
Of course, even though this movie does have its fair share of problems.
Yeah.
And even because it's an uncanny experience.
Right, because you're in uncanny territory with that. And I'll be honest, motion capture is not easy to use. When you make a full-length feature film with just, motion capture, it's a bold move not to try. I mean, not the first time though, but it's a bold move not to try.
Polar Express and Beowulf did that.
Right. And it seems as though people seem to like it.
Yes, and of course, even though it's uncanny, but looking back at those motion capture movies, it still holds up.
Yeah, I mean, I remember though, because we remember them.
Even Steven Spielberg took a swing at it with The Adventures of Tintin.
Right. And don't forget, James Cameron did that for Avatar.
And of course, Steven Spielberg would direct Ready Player One.
Right.
To which it would be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects.
Right. So anyway, going back to the movie, Zemeckis reread the book A Christmas Carol, and he realized that the story has never been realized, the story has never been realized in a way that it was actually imagined by Charles Dickens as he wrote it. As well as that, it's as if he wrote the story to be a movie because it's so visual and so cinematic.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Zemeckis said. He also stated previously that A Christmas Carol is one of his favorite stories dealing with time travel.
Hey, at least he enjoyed the book.
He enjoyed the book, at least. And of course, time travel? I never thought of that. Well, to be fair, though, you have the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future taking Scrooge on a journey to what his life was like before he got greedy. So technically, I guess you could say it is time travel.
Well, it was mentioned in the teaser trailer, which Robert Zemeckis' name was on the trailer, and it says, and including other movies that he had done, Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, and The Polar Express.
Right. So Jim Carrey, who played Ebeneezer Scrooge, described the film as a classical version of A Christmas Carol. There are a lot of vocal things, a lot of physical things I have to do. Not to mention doing the accents properly. The English-Irish accents, I want it to fly in the UK. I want it to be good, and I want them to go. Yeah, that's for real. We were very true to the book. It's beautiful. It's an incredible film. And to be quite honest, he's not wrong.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah, he's not wrong about it. It is an incredible film to watch.
Jim Carrey playing Ebeneezer Scrooge, I say that's a good choice.
Right.
I mean, he has done a lot of movies throughout his acting career.
Right. And of course on top of that, this is technically his second Christmas film he's doing.
Robert Zemeckis?
No, Jim Carrey.
Probably.
Because he played the Grinch and he played Ebeneezer Scrooge.
Yes, and of course there was also a brief Christmas scene in the third Sonic movie.
Well, at least around that time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess. I mean,
I mean, Jim Carrey, he's a nice celebrity too.
I mean, let's be honest. He's a very funny comedian.
And a nice celebrity too.
Yeah. And then of course, and of course, Walt Disney partnered with Amtrak to promote the film with a special nationwide exhibition train tour starting at Los Angeles in May 2009 and visiting 40 cities, finishing in New York City in November.
An Amtrak?
Yeah, the train. Yeah, the railroad company.
Oh yes, the Amtrak train.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, before we go into the movie, I just want to say, Mike and I, we have seen this movie many times, and we enjoyed it.
Yes, we did.
Now, obviously enough, I know there's some people who didn't really enjoy the movie as much. I mean, sure, yes, it's not a perfect movie sure, Robert Zemeckis is hit or miss at times when it comes to directing movies, especially
Producing. He also produced movies too.
right, but when it comes to like the choices he the choices he make, like going all digital motion capture, right?
Yes.
And this is one of them. I mean, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 52%, and the critical consensus said Robert Zemeckis' 3D animated take on the Dickens classic tries hard, but its dazzling special effects distract from an array of fine performances from Jim Carrey and Gary Oldman.
And also Jim Carrey, Gary Oldman, Robert Wright Penn, and Bob Hoskins plays multiple roles.
Oh yeah, that's right. Another thing about oh yeah, that's right. Another thing about Robert Zemeckis movies is that some of his movies he has his actors play multiple roles.
And this is not the first time.
Not the first time.
Tom Hanks plays multiple characters in the Polar Express.
Right. Tom Hanks played multiple characters in the Polar Express.
This is not an easy task to do.
No, not an easy task at all. And then and then of course, obviously enough, going to Christmas Carol, you got Gary Oldman and Jim Carrey playing multiple roles. Although Gary Oldman only plays 2 characters in this movie.
Bro.
Actually, make that 3, but he does. But the third, actually, make that 3. Actually,
because he played Bob Cratchit, Scrooge, poor unpaid clerk, Jacob Marley, the ghost of Scrooge's ex-business partner who is bound in chains, and he also provides the motion capture for Tiny Tim, Cratchit's youngest son.
Oh, okay. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, but even then, the critics, but anyway, on the Metacritic, it got a 55 out of 100, indicating mixed or average. And then, of course, the audience poll on CinemaScore gave the film a grade of B+. And on top of that, I think on IMDb, it got 6.8 out of 10. So yeah, it got so it received mixed reviews, but I feel like people are enjoying this a lot more than what this movie's given credit for.
Right. I feel like the movie speaks for itself.
It does, but I feel like it got better over time.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, let's get to the movie, shall we?
All right.
So the movie opens up with Marley is dead to begin with.
There's no doubt whatever about it.
Right. Now, of course, the death of Jacob Marley, we don't know his cause of death. It's never explained.
Yeah, I mean,
in the book it's never explained, but there are details of how he died, because if you look at Jacob Marley, especially in his ghost form, he has a handkerchief on his on his neck, right?
Yeah.
Or his jawline, I should say. So it could indicate that he had a head injury or a neck injury of some sort. And then, of course, obviously, he's also blind, too, so he wasn't able to see.
Yeah.
So that could indicate that his cause of death was a head or neck injury while being blind. I think that's what happened. But, of course, he was also a greedy man as well.
Right.
And obviously enough, same with Ebeneezer Scrooge. And, of course, Ebeneezer Scrooge is a bitter and he's a bitter old man who is basically a moneylender, holds everything that embodies the joys and spirit of Christmas in contempt, keeping to himself and being nasty to people. And of course, Scrooge's business partner, Jacob Marley, has died, and Scrooge is paying a man for his coffin.
He sees Jacob Marley in the coffin with 2 coins in the eyes.
Right. Tuppence.
Oh, tuppence.
Yep, tuppence. Like, like for Mary Poppins, huh?
Yep.
And then, of course, as I mentioned, Jim Carrey plays Scrooge, and he is like, he's quite dead as a doornail, describing Jacob Marley's death.
Yes. Then there are 2 other characters in showing up.
One of them is being played by Daryl Sabara, right?
Yes, and the other is Steve Valentine.
Right, because Daryl Sabara is the little boy who is, putting the cover on Jacob Marley's coffin.
Yes.
And then, of course, Steve Valentine's that funeral undertaker who gives Scrooge a certificate of death.
Yep.
So anyway,
Scrooge signs the certificate.
He signs the certificate, gives the guy 2 tuppence.
Yep. Scrooge refused to give the second tuppence.
Right. He refused because the guy was kind of like leaning forward like a dead zombie, and he's just like, and Scrooge is like, yeah, screw it. Here you go.
And then,
of course, he yells out at the boy who is about to close the coffin on Jacob Marley. So anyway, he takes the 2 coins and basically shakes those 2 coins in his hands and says, "Tuppence is tuppence."
Then he starts to walk out of there and go back to his job.
Right, he goes back to his office job. And of course, he sees a bunch of carolers singing, and he doesn't like it.
Yep.
He doesn't like Christmas. That's the thing.
And he stares at the tuppence.
Right. And of course, he walks away. And then, of course, we get the credits rolling as the music goes on in the background from Alan Silvestri. And also, if you pay attention to, there is this there's this one guy who is actually blind, and there is a dog with him. And if you also notice, the dog senses Ebeneezer Scrooge. Like, he comes to realize that, oh yeah, Ebeneezer Scrooge is a greedy old man, and the dog makes a hard left, and the guy is surprised because the dog picked up Ebenezer's anger.
Yep.
So that's a nice little detail right there.
And then you get the title.
And while that's going on, we see all the other names of the people who are involved, including the actors and the crew members, and we also get a nice little world building too. Like, we're basically on a roller coaster of it's London, right?
London.
It's basically London, right? We get the visual world of London in this movie, at least. I mean, it's amazing. It's spectacular.
Visually dazzling.
Right. You're in it for the visuals at this point.
Yes.
And we get to see, obviously, we get to see, the marketplace as well, including the three kids who are basically, asking for scraps, because keep in mind, this is a different time period. Like, this is a different time period, right?
Don't forget food.
Right, food, and
from the chef saying, "Merry Christmas."
And then, of course, obviously, the dog takes the meat.
Yep.
And then we get to see the marketplace as well. The marketplace is a bit jolly too, but it's still rough. You can definitely tell, like, this is a different time period. Keep in mind, because the time period itself is rough, right? There's a lot of, like, it's poor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really poor. It's basically very poor and scary, and it's poverty, right? So basically, while that's going on, this is all in one take, by the way. This is a one take shot.
Yep. This is not Don Burgess's work.
No, this is his name escapes me now. Wait, Robert Presley. This is Robert Presley's work, his cinematography. the work from Robert Presley, who does the cinematography for this one for this movie, not Don Burgess.
Mm-hmm.
Because Don Burgess has collaborated with Robert Zemeckis on multiple movies.
He does.
And then, of course, when we get to Scrooge's office, he walks in and shuts the door.
And then you see the sign saying Scrooge and Marley.
Right, that's his business. And then of course, seven Christmas
Eves.
7 Christmas Eves ago, he is still as bitter as he was before. He has an employee named Bob Cratchit who is being played by Gary Oldman, who is very poor and can barely afford food for his family.
Yep.
And then while that's going on, Cratchit had an idea of bringing coal inside his fireplace, but
Yep.
apparently the keys
are right
by Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge was looking.
He was looking. He looks up at Bob Cratchit. He was like, "What are you doing?" And Bob Cratchit goes back to work.
Yep. Then you get.
And then, of course, you get Colin Firth walking in as Ebeneezer Scrooge's nephew.
The character's name is Fred.
Fred. Yeah, right. Fred. Scrooge's nephew.
An only living relative. He is the son of Scrooge's long-dead sister Fan.
So anyway, he walks into the shop and asks him to join him for dinner at his house. But Scrooge gives him an unfriendly Christmas humbug. Bah, humbug.
I mean, don't be cross, Uncle.
Yeah, because Fred doesn't want his uncle to be cross. I mean, even he was like, "Christmas humbug." But of course, everything doesn't go. But of course, Scrooge is being a greedy old bastard that he is, and he's basically telling Fred, and I'm pretty sure Bob Cratchit's picking up on this. He's like, "Every Christmas, that whole season of Christmas should be boiled in his old pudding." Like he's describing, he's comparing everything to shit, right?
Yeah.
Boiled in his own pudding. That's the pudding part, right? Even that comes back later on in the movie, right? Christmas pudding, right?
Yeah.
And it's not the Christmas pudding you would eat, by the way. I'm telling. This is like I've already described him. I've already said it. You already know. You know what I'm talking about, right? I said it already.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Ebeneezer Scrooge we're talking about. Like, this is Scrooge, one of the nastiest man who hates Christmas.
Yep.
And of course, Fred goes into a rant of how Scrooge doesn't keep it, but Fred is proud of Christmas. He likes Christmas, right?
Of course he does.
Yeah.
And he wants Scrooge to come in for Christmas dinner.
Right. Even Bob Cratchit likes the speech after Fred ends it with "God bless it."
Of course he does.
Right, because he has the Christmas spirit.
He
Fred
does.
Fred has good Christmas spirit.
Mm-hmm. And Bob Cratchit claps.
And then, of course, Scrooge scolds him. He's like,
"Let me hear another sound from you, Cratchit."
He was basically, threatening to fire him, right?
Yep.
Well, good thing Kermit and the Rats were not there.
Nope.
Scrooge in the Muppet Christmas Carol was like, "How would you guys like to celebrate Christmas on the unemployment line? Heat wave, there's my hand in the sun, dun 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 dun." Well, at least they didn't go that route for Robert Zemeckis, though.
Nope.
But of course, Fred tries to cheer up Scrooge and like, "Come on, don't be cross, Uncle. Come, dine with us." But of course, Scrooge literally straight up said hell to Fred. Like, no, I'm not even joking. He actually said that Scrooge will see him in hell. Like, this is Scrooge telling Fred that. Like, saying that Scrooge will see Fred in hell, right? Like, you can definitely tell that he is still on this path, this greedy path.
Yep.
He's still on this bitter old greedy path.
Also, he's cold-hearted too.
Right. He is so cold-hearted. Like, even Fred asked that question, but of course, Scrooge asked another question. "Why did you get married?"
And Fred says, "Because I fell in love."
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon. And of course, Fred is still full of spirit, but he's like, look, why can't we just be friends? But anyway, I'm happy with Christmas, and therefore, Merry Christmas, Uncle,
Good afternoon.
and a Happy New Year, and a very Merry Christmas to you too, Mr. Cratchit.
Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Yep. Hey, at least Cratchit was kind enough.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. And he also threw an insult at Cratchit, basically, because Cratchit's poor, right?
Yeah.
He's basically poor. Cratchit's poor. I think what was it, 15 shillings a week or something? 15 shillings a day or something?
Probably 15.
Yeah, 15 shillings. I mean, this was a different time period. Don't forget. Payment was a lot different back then. But this is a different country, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, and then of course, two gentlemen came in, asking for donations, right?
Yes. Donating to the poor.
Right, donating to the poor. And of course, Scrooge dismisses them both, right? Because he doesn't want to donate to the poor, right?
No, because he's being a greedy, mean old man.
Right. Like he even asked the question, I don't know, prisons or workhouses.
Oh.
Right.
Actually, that line comes back.
Right, that line comes back. Like some of the lines you hear from this movie, like they come back later. They come back.
He also was trying to burn out the paper.
Right, the paper. And then of course, like once Scrooge denies the donation, and of course the guys are like, are you sure? Are you wish to be anonymous? And Scrooge is like, I wish to be left alone. And then of course he basically spills ill will on the poor. And the guys were like, if they would, and of course if we don't get those donations, and many would rather die. And Scrooge is like, and they better do it and decrease the surplus population. Like just like, dude, this guy just threatened not only those two gentlemen, but also the poor as well.
Oh, that's not good.
Are you kidding me? He's on the naughty list.
Yep.
And of course, he says this, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
By the way, you also notice, like, you got big name actors like Bob Hoskins, Gary Oldman, and Colin Firth.
Yeah.
Alongside with Jim Carrey. Like, don't get me wrong, Jim Carrey, he does a fantastic job playing Scrooge, but you have other big name actors who could also fill in the role of Scrooge.
Of course.
Like, I mean, I would definitely say Colin Firth or maybe Gary Oldman. Bob Hoskins, though, I'll say this, Bob Hoskins was a good choice for Fezziwig.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at Jim Carrey, he embodies the role pretty well.
He does. And if you're looking into the opening, there's a YouTube video of the behind the scenes of the opening of the film.
Right. It's basically, Jim Carrey in the motion capture suit behind the scenes. And of course, this is like, you're like watching the movie as if you're like watching behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Of what it looked like, how he brought the role to life.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, of course, it's closing time, and both him and Cratchit leave for the night. But of course, Cratchit asks Scrooge for a day off tomorrow since the next day is Christmas. Although he doesn't buy it at first, but of course he gives in. He was like, look, it's not fair, but of course, I suppose you definitely need the day off.
Be here only the early day the next morning.
Right. So
or something like that.
Something like that, but he comes like the day after Christmas.
And he has 3 locks.
Right, he has 3 locks. And then, of course, Cratchit leaves for the night. He's all excited for Christmas, right? And then, of course, Scrooge, being the bitter old man that he is, walks home. And he goes to his home. He accidentally drops his keys. And I'm pretty sure on the front door, he sees what looks to be his partner, Jacob Marley.
As a ghost.
And of course, Jacob Marley screams, and Scrooge freaks out. And he was like, get away! Get away!
This is honestly the scary part of the movie.
Right, it's basically a jump scare, too.
I mean, I feel like Robert Zemeckis is never too shy of adding in scary omens.
No, he's not.
I mean, he has done scary movies too, most notably with the producing horror films,
Right.
including directing Death Becomes Her.
Mm-hmm. So also moving forward, so Scrooge is all alone up in his room eating I want to say soup or something, but apparently the bells were tolling in his room, right? They were ringing.
Yep.
The bell tolls for Scrooge, and he is scared. He gets scared, and of course he hears chains shuffling on the ground
Yep.
and footsteps too.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, coming through the door are a bunch of chained up boxes. And, of course, Jacob Marley himself in ghost form being played by Gary Oldman.
Yep.
And, it's basically Jacob Marley seeing Scrooge for the first time in a long time. And it's basically like, he basically says, "In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley."
I actually love Scrooge's reaction.
Right, his reaction says it all because it's like he sees a ghost. He literally sees a ghost. He is scared. Jacob Marley scares the hell out of Scrooge. And quite so because this is like a turning point for him.
Yep. And Scrooge says, "Can you sit down?"
Marley sits down, and of course they both have a conversation saying, and Marley was like, "You don't believe in me, do you?"
I don't.
But of course, oddly enough, he tries to threaten Marley, saying there's more something about gravy and bread in you, and of course Marley screams, and basically I don't know how to make of it. The screen doesn't really, it doesn't really add up. But I feel like it could have been a lot more threatening if Marley doesn't scream. Instead he just yells at Scrooge, right? He would just yell at Scrooge instead of this screaming and howling, right? I mean, I guess it's trying to it's trying to frighten us, but it's just like it's basically a distraction. It's just a distraction, but you can definitely understand what Marley was going through, because remember, Marley was Ebenezer's partner.
Yeah.
They were both partners. They were basically swindling the poor, right?
Swindling the poor? Oh my goodness.
They were basically swindling the poor, but apparently, mankind should have been his business.
Yeah.
Charity, helping people. But no, both him and Scrooge were swindling the poor.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
And that happens, and the whole mankind thing happens when he dislocates his jaw, which is very you hear him mumbling. It's like you can hear what he's saying, but it's just distracting.
Yes.
Why do he have to break his jaw like that? I don't understand that.
I mean, who came up with that?
I don't know. Robert Zemeckis wrote this movie, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
He's a solo writer on this movie.
Oh.
Yeah, solo writer.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I guess this is trying to be funny, but why be funny with it? This is supposed to be a serious moment, right?
Yes, I think that's one of the problems that this movie has.
Right. That whole humor part where he dislocates his jaw, Marley dislocates his jaw. It's like, ugh, that's just distracting. I'm sorry, that part is just distracting.
Yeah.
Takes away the whole mankind thing. Even in the Scrooge movie, yeah, it was funny. I mean, yeah, they said that line, but it was funny for a reason, because it was a parody of A Christmas Carol.
Uh-huh.
Scrooge it worked because it was a parody. This is an adaptation. It was supposed to be serious.
Yes.
But obviously enough, Marley's time has gone, but of course he tells Scrooge, he warns Scrooge, listen, but listen, my time has nearly come. I can't do anything. Marley can't be saved, but Scrooge can. If he doesn't turn away from, if the only way he could be saved is basically, turning away from his greediness.
Yes, there is a chance and hope.
And Mario's like, you'll be haunted by 3 spirits.
Scrooge says, that's the chance and hope? I would rather not.
Expect the first, tomorrow when the bell tolls one, and Scrooge was like, can we just meet them all at once? Well, that doesn't happen though.
No.
One at a time. Also to mention, Jacob Marley's blind, right?
Yeah.
Like he's basically blind. There is basically a bit of a detail where he doesn't look at Scrooge, but there are a couple times where he does. But anyway, of course, Jacob Marley leaves, and as he leaves, he drags Scrooge's chair to the window and sees a bunch of other ghosts, just like Jacob Marley, who are basically swindling the poor. They're basically all in chains, right?
Oh,
All
my
in chains.
goodness.
Speaking of which, I forgot to mention the chains. The chains. They're basically Lincoln yarn by yarn. The chains that he holds, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even Scrooge will be holding a heavier chain than what Marley has.
If he doesn't change.
Right. Even there's this one ghost who's basically, being so remorseful and he's like, I wish I could help you. But Scrooge screams and the ghost comes at him.
Yep.
That's a scary moment. Imagine seeing this in IMAX 3D.
Yeah.
That would be messed up in 3D. I mean, that would be messed up if you saw this in IMAX in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, it was, but
Yep.
we didn't see it in 3D.
Nope.
But anyway, of course, so at night the first spirit comes in, and by the way, it's Jim Carrey playing all the ghosts. By the way, we get the ghost of Christmas past. A small ghost made of fire shows Scrooge visions of his own past that take place on or around the Christmas season, reminding him of how he ended up the greedy man he is now. He has spent much of his childhood neglected by his father over the holidays at a boarding school until he was finally brought home by his loving sister Fawn, who died prematurely after giving birth to his nephew Fred. And Scrooge later began a successful career in business and money lending and became engaged to a woman named Belle. But of course, he met her at this dance that he was working for with Fezziwig. Old Fezziwig, right?
Yes, Fezziwig. And there's also Dick Wilkinson.
Yeah, Dick Wilkinson. Or Dick Wilkinson or Dick Wilkinson?
Wilkinson.
Oh, Dick Wilkinson.
Yes, he's being played by Carrie Elways.
Or Dick Wilkins. Well, I heard Dick Wilkinson or Dick Wilkins. Yeah, Carrie always plays him.
And of course, Bob Hoskins plays Nigel Fezziwig.
Right, Bob Hoskins, yep.
Actually, Bob Hoskins actually collaborated with Robert Zemeckis before.
On Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yes, and this is obviously one of his last movies because a few years ago, Bob Hoskins passed away in 2014. He retired from acting in 2012 because of Parkinson's.
Right. And then obviously moving forward, I mean the party itself is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like the music choice they actually have for that. Especially how Bob Hoskins character, Fezziwig, he jumps around like a frog, by the way. While dancing, I mean I guess you could say Mr. Toad played Fezziwig in Mickey's Christmas Carol.
That's right.
I mean, so I guess that's kind of a callback. And then of course we get this moment where Scrooge meets Belle.
She's being voiced by
Robin Redpen.
Another collaborator.
Right, for with Robert Zemeckis.
Because she was in the Beowulf movie.
Right.
Including Forrest Gump.
Right. So anyway, of course, Scrooge, their engagement was called off because Scrooge is obsessed more with his own wealth than the girl that is standing right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And she released him.
It's obviously hard.
It's hard, right?
It's hard to watch.
It's hard to watch, especially for Scrooge at an old age,
Mm-hmm.
realizing what he has done.
Yeah.
And Scrooge is like, please do not show me more of this. But of course, the candle starts morphing into different heads of the people from the past, right? It's a creepy moment too. And Scrooge is like, take me back, hold me no longer. And of course, he extinguishes the ghost of Christmas past, or does he? in a rocket ship. Okay, I don't know why Robert Zemeckis put in a rocket ship, but it's kind of funny.
Yep.
And of course, in the trailer, when Scrooge was going over the moon, he says humbug, but apparently that's apparently they put something different. It's just him screaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in the trailer he says humbug. But of course, in the movie, in the final version, he's just basically, screaming, right?
Yeah.
And obviously enough, he falls back into his old home. He falls back into his home while sleeping on his neck, by the way.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Oh, blast.
Damn, that's gotta hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, of course, we meet the ghost of Christmas Present, also voiced by Jim Carrey.
I'll be honest, Jim Carrey really took those roles.
He did. He walks into a room and finds it covered in Christmas decorations. The ghost of Christmas Present is in there waiting for him. He shows Scrooge the happiness of his fellow men on Christmas Day.
Don't you know that the ghost of Christmas Present was laughing?
Yes, he was laughing too.
I am the ghost of Christmas Present. Look up on me.
Yep. And there's basically a lot of presents, and I'm pretty sure food too.
Yep. Mickey's Christmas Carol did that too.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, this moment is a pretty good moment too, because we go on this ride we go on this ride of where we see on an overhead of the town.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's literally the visual. I mean, say what you will about the visuals, but the visuals really tell the story.
It does. And what really adds into this scene is Alan Silvestri's score.
Right. It's basically we get Hark the Herald Angels singing, playing in the background.
Yeah.
And then while that's going on, we see the town of London celebrating Christmas, right?
Yes.
Like we see the Cratchit family celebrating Christmas, but also foreshadowing the fate of Tiny Tim.
And we're also introduced to Bob Cratchit's family.
Right. So the Cratchits also tend to a sickly young son, Tiny Tim, whose commitment to the spirit of Christmas touches Scrooge, who is dismayed to learn from the spirit that he may not have much longer to live.
Why?
He was sick or something. I don't know why, but you definitely see the little crutch that he has. You see the little crutch that Tiny Tim has.
Yeah.
On his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was tuberculosis, I think, or something in his leg or something.
And of course, they were having Christmas dinner.
Right. It was a Christmas goose.
Christmas goose.
Right.
And they all did a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiny Tim says, "God bless us, everyone."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That line also comes back at the end.
Right. And the thing also is that Scrooge starts to understand a little more about like, yeah, okay, so this family may be poor, but they're still, they're still together as a family. But of course, like the Ghost of Christmas Present said, that Tiny Tim may not live long.
Because Tiny Tim might die, and Scrooge says, "Die? No!"
But of course, on top of that, remember that line that he told to the guys?
Yes.
About, not donating to the poor and helping others. And it says if they rather die, then they better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Well, actually, it's if he rather die, then they better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Like that comes back. Like some of these lines come back. Even the Ghost of Christmas Present was like that. His face turned into Scrooge's face.
Oh,
yeah. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And then of course we go to Fred's Christmas party, or Christmas dinner, I should say, and they're playing a game of charades, by the way, and Fred is the one playing, and of course the house guests were like, "Oh, is it an animal that grunts and is it an animal that grunts a lot?"
Yes.
And of course they're trying to guess if Fred is being a cow, a pig,
a dog,
or an ass. I mean, Fred was like, yes and no. I mean, yeah. because Scrooge was being an ass.
Yep.
Yeah, Scrooge was definitely being a jackass, and of course, even the lady says, "Oh wait, I know, it's your Uncle Scrooge."
Yes.
Everybody was like, yeah. Oh, so your Uncle Scrooge is an ass. Even the Ghost of Christmas Present looked down on Scrooge and was like, well, they aren't wrong about that.
Scrooge tries to turn around, don't want to see it, but
But the Ghost of Christmas Present is like, nah, turn your ass around. You need to see this. But of course, like Fred says, he says Christmas humbug, right? Well, anyway, to Uncle Scrooge.
to Uncle Scrooge.
That whole thing ends, and on top of that, we go inside what looks to be Big Ben, I believe.
I'm not sure it's Big Ben.
I mean, I'm not sure about that either, but of course, the Ghost of Christmas Present was like, tonight's the night, you'll be meeting with the last spirit. And then, of course, one other thing he mentions is the two kids, right?
Yes.
Ignorance and want. Even one of them says, look down, old geezer.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them calls Scrooge an old geezer. Like, whoa.
Oh.
Like, and even the ghost is like, look. Even the ghost is like, look down here. This boy is ignorance. This girl is want. Beware of them both.
And then the bell rings.
The bell rings too, and
12 times.
12 times, midnight, by the way.
Yes.
Although Jacob Murray says expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1, right?
Yes.
Although I guess you could say this is still in the present, by the way, so I guess it's ringing at midnight. I mean, I don't know the laws of physics or the way how it's written like that, but just go with it.
Yeah.
But I do like the detail that the bell that the bell tolls 12 times. And while that's going on, ignorance and want were going batshit insane.
Yes.
With ignorance saying, "Are there no prisons?" He takes a knife, swipes around, and gets trapped in a cage.
I mean, well, before that, Scrooge says, are there no refuge or resource?
But of course, yeah, but oh, that's true. Now he's starting to realize, hey, too late for him because ignorance says, "Are there no prisons?" And want says, "Are there no workhouses?"
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's you're a little horror movie now.
Yes, oh my goodness. I mean, like I mentioned, Robert Zemeckis is never too shy of adding in scary elements.
Yeah, I mean, even the Ghost of Christmas Present is laughing. He dies laughing.
Yes, and ignorance and want disappeared.
Right, like want gets straight jacketed, right? Like you call that a Christmas? You call that a lighthearted Christmas movie? You have ignorance being trapped in the cage, the Ghost of Christmas Present dying of laughter while turning into a corpse, and want gets straight jacketed.
Oh my goodness. Well, ignorance and want disappears while Ghost of Christmas Present was still laying there taking the last laugh. And I'll be honest, that was very scary. Yes, and then the dust clears and you see his entire corpse.
Yeah.
Still laughing. And
Although I guess you could say this is probably the second scariest moment. I mean, I don't know. You'll decide because the ending is also also scary too.
We're gonna get to that pretty soon.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that pretty soon. And once the Ghost of Christmas Present disappears, we are introduced to the Ghost of Christmas Future or the Ghost of
Christmas Yet to Come.
Right. Jim Carrey also plays that character too.
I mean, should they bring in like different celebrities to play like the three ghosts?
I don't know. I mean, there were rumors of Tom Hanks, Christopher Lloyd, and
Michael J. Fox.
I think they were also rumored to be in this movie too, but I guess that didn't happen though.
No.
Actually, I wouldn't mind the three of them being in that movie because keep in mind, this is also time travel too, right?
Yes.
Back to the Future,
of course.
Right, because this is kind of it's kind of like Back to the Future, but if it's set in Victoria, that's if it's set in Victoria, England, on Christmas, with a bitter old man. So anyway, the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, or Future, I should say,
is the third and final spirit.
And he shows Scrooge the final consequences of his greed. Now, of course, we get the townsfolk all cheering, all happy because somebody has died. Like saying, "Oh, I never thought this man. Oh man, this guy's dead. Whoop-de-doo."
Yeah, he has never leaved any money.
Right. We all know who they're talking about, right?
That would be Ebeneezer Scrooge.
Spoiler alert. But of course, we do get, I want to say, probably a useless scene, which is basically the chase scene.
And then you see
The chase scene, where the carriage goes after Ebeneezer Scrooge.
there's also a silhouette shot of the carriage and the horses. But one of the horses sees Ebeneezer Scrooge with a grand look.
Right. And of course, the Ghost of Christmas Future tells the carriage to go after Scrooge. He points at him.
Wow.
I mean, you don't even need this scene. This is an action scene, which, okay, on paper sounds good, but we're talking Christmas Carol. Like, why do we need a chase scene?
Yeah.
I don't get it. That chase scene it's basically a thriller ride. And it's just, Robert Zemeckis did this. He's doing this to showcase his visual effects.
Yes.
Look, which he did very good with, but at the same time, okay, can we get to the rest of the story?
Yes, and while the chase was going on, the spirit was whipping the first time, and the buildings were starting to come close.
And of course, shrinks Ebeneezer Scrooge.
And then, actually, before shrinking, Scrooge turns around and sees other ghosts laughing.
Right.
And another one was they were drinking with the drinking barrel.
Right. And then of course Scrooge goes inside a pipe and he's crawling.
Tiny. And
he's tiny. And he crawls on what's basically
probably like a drain pipe.
A drain pipe, but of course he smells like the stuff that is on the drain pipe. He's like, Christmas pudding, no doubt. And it's like, that's everyone's shit, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's taking a crap on Christmas. Everyone taking a crap after eating, and stuff, Christmas pudding, no doubt. He's talking about actual shit. Literal crap that he's crawling on.
Oh my god.
Right.
And he was able to get out, and he kind of like grunts a little bit.
Right. And then, of course, the Ghost of Christmas Future drives the carriage, and oddly enough, Scrooge gets thrown on the roof, falls off the roof while being hit by icicles, and lands in a sack.
Yes, and we're also introduced to
Dilber.
This is Dilber,
being played by Finola Flanagan,
and then Bob Hoskins plays Old Joe, a fence who buys the belongings of the deceased Scrooge from Mrs. Dilber.
And of course, like obviously Scrooge is surprised to see the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, and Scrooge tries to call out Miss Dilber, but she doesn't hear him.
No, because
he's trying to fire her, right?
Yes. You're fired! Fired! They were actually taking away the sheets, the clean, the blankets.
I find it funny how old Joe was like, these blankets? He freaks out about it because obviously, Scrooge was in those blankets, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, there's also a rat, too.
Yep.
And he goes after the rat, and that's the last that we see of him.
Yep.
And then, of course, Scrooge grows back to his normal size. Unfortunately, his heart size has not grown 3 inches.
Nope.
Yeah.
I actually laugh at that part where Scrooge was like growing back because of his voice.
Right. I mean, nice detail right there. And then, of course, he sees was basically a man on the bed, right?
But the question is, who was it?
We don't know. But also to mention, we go to the Cratchit family house, and of course, Bob Cratchit mourns Tiny Tim, his son. And of course, on top of that, his nephew Fred in the future finds benefit from inheriting his wealth, by the way.
He does?
Yeah, he does. It's actually, yeah. In addition, Fred finds benefit from inheriting his wealth, and Scrooge is even robbed by his former maid, right? This is Dilbert, right?
Oh.
Right? Because, like I said, Scrooge was a greedy old man.
Mm-hmm.
And also to mention too, there is also a moment between Scrooge and Cratchit where Cratchit is walking up the stairs. He stops and Scrooge looks at his face. Like Cratchit is sad, and so is Ebeneezer. Like they're both sad, but Scrooge is shocked,
Mm-hmm.
realizing that Tiny Tim has died, and Scrooge realizes that he's done. He's literally done. He's like, oh no.
Oh, what have I done?
This is like a what have I done moment.
Scrooge realizes, and this is what's gonna happen to Ebeneezer Scrooge if he continues down his path.
Right. And of course the final nail in the coffin, is where the Ghost of Christmas Future takes him to his tombstone.
Yes.
And of course, the music from Alan Silvestri is going on in the background during a snowstorm, and Scrooge tells the spirit, "Before you draw on that stone, ask me this: Are these the shadows of things that may be, or the shadows of things that will be?"
Men's courses of lives are the shadows of men.
And then, of course, the Ghost of Christmas Future was like, "Oh, for crying out loud, it's you!" Like, he points at the gravestone, he points at the tombstone that says Ebeneezer Scrooge.
Oh.
And Scrooge is like, "No! That's the man laying dead on the bed! Spirits, hear me! I'm not the man I once was! Why show me this if I lost all hope? Spirit, please tell me these things will change from an altered life."
Yes, you see the day that he was born and the day that he died,
which says December 25th, Christmas.
Uh-oh.
We don't see the year that he died, but we saw the month and day.
When you see the December, you hear the bell chime.
Right, but when it reached December 25th, the bell tolls. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, but...
And Scrooge is like, "No, spirit! No spirit!"
I'll be honest, Alan Silvestri really did a fantastic job composing this movie.
Like, it's a haunting score at this point where Scrooge gets sucked into the snow like it was quicksand, begging the spirit for help, hangs on a branch, and as he sees the snow sinking all the way down to the bottom of his grave, there's a fiery background on the grave, right?
Yes, and
like it's hell, right?
Oh, hell no.
No, it's his coffin.
Yes.
Burning in hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary. It is terrifying. Like, Scrooge is about to die. And of course, we see the face of the Ghost of Christmas Future.
Oh.
Yep, it's death, right? You know it's death, right?
Yep.
With a skeleton face.
Yep.
Scrooge screams and begs the spirit for another chance.
"I will have a Christmas in my heart and try to keep it from there. I will not be shot out from the past, present, or future. Oh, please, spirit, tell me. I will sponge the wave of writing on this stone."
But of course, the branch turns into his finger, right?
Yep.
And Scrooge falls to his supposed death.
Mm-hmm.
Until he wakes up in his room.
Yep. Mickey's Christmas Carol did that too.
And yeah.
Was with Scrooge McDuck.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ghost of Christmas Future was Pete.
Right. But of course, Scrooge wakes up, finds out that he's back home, and it's Christmas morning, by the way.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yep, Scrooge is still here.
And he's basically dancing.
He's dancing, he's happy, and of course, opens the window and sees a kid with a sled and tells him, "Hey, what's today, my fine friend?"
Today? Well, Christmas Day.
So Scrooge hasn't missed Christmas yet.
No. Actually, it was one night.
Right. It was one night. And of
It-
course, Scrooge tells the kid to go buy the Christmas-sized turkey.
Not the little prize turkey, the big one.
Oh, prize turkey, Christmas prize turkey. So, he tells the kid, "Go and buy it then. Be back here in the next 5 minutes, and I'll give you half a crown."
Yep.
He goes on his way. Scrooge comes downstairs, sees Mrs. Dilber, and he says, "Merry Christmas!" And Mrs. Dilber is surprised. She even says, "Oh my God!" I'm not gonna lie, when I heard her said that, I mean, what reaction can we get out of that? Like, Mrs. Dilber thought Scrooge has gone mad.
Yeah.
I guess so. With Christmas spirit.
Yep.
And of course, the boy comes back with what appears to be one of the chefs, I believe, with
Yep.
the turkey. Gives the boy the half a crown, and of course, they ride on his carriage, right? And Scrooge even goes behind the carriage.
Just like Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
That's pretty much the reference to that.
Because he was late for school and he was riding on his truck with a skateboard.
Right. Actually, Cratchit did that in the beginning of the movie too.
Whoa, with the ice.
Well, with the ice, yeah.
Yeah, we forgot about that.
So then, of course, Joy to the World plays in the background, and Scrooge is dressed up. He says Merry Christmas to everyone, including the little baby, too, who says, "God bless you." And then, on top of that, he sees one of the guys who was at the office, who is asking for donations. He goes to him, makes sure that the guy was okay, making sure everything was successful, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, listen, I hope it's not too late, but I was wondering if you could put me down for a good amount."
He actually whispers.
Right. And of course, the guy was like, "Bless me, Scrooge, bless me."
Yeah.
Yeah. This shows that Scrooge is, he immediately sets out to atone for his sins, right? Making donations to the poor, of course, attending Fred's dinner party, giving Cratchit a raise to care for his family, and allowing Tiny Tim to live. Plus, singing with the Christmas carols too.
Yes. And of course, Scrooge was able to join the Christmas dinner with Uncle Fred.
Right, and also that little, that whole charade game comes in, and it's like, "Oh wait, isn't it an animal that walks and grunts?"
Yes.
And of course, they all guess, is it a cow, a dog, a pig, or an ass? And then, of course, what's also funny too is that when Scrooge walks in, the lady was like, "Oh wait, I know, it's your
Uncle Scrooge."
But no, it's just the fact that Fred was like, "Uncle Scrooge," like as if the question has been answered.
Yes. And of course,
Almost answered, I should say.
yeah,
And Scrooge was like, "I've come to dinner
if you'll have me."
and everyone in the room was like, "Oh yeah, come on."
Everyone's having a Christmas dinner, and Scrooge also says, "Next year we must have Christmas. We'll have a Christmas dinner in my house."
Yep. And of course, the following day, Scrooge gives Cratchit a raise to care for his family, and of course, I believe becoming his new partner too.
Yes, and of course, Scrooge tells Bob Cratchit to fetch some coal.
Right. And then, of course, for some reason, Cratchit becomes the narrator, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, and of course, Tiny Tim is still well.
Right, Tiny Tim is well, and of course, Hark the Herald Angels play in the background. And of course, Tiny Tim says the last line while he's standing on Scrooge's shoulders, right?
Yes, Scrooge becomes the second father.
Right.
And Tiny Tim says, "God bless us, everyone."
Right. And that's how the movie ends. Although there was no narrator, only Cratchit does the narration at the end.
Yeah.
If they were going to do a narrator, why didn't they have Gary Oldman do the narration?
Yeah.
For the whole movie. Or at least bring in Tom Hanks, Christopher Lloyd, or
Michael J. Fox.
I don't understand that. It almost sounds like a last minute thing. It sounds like it sounds like a last minute thing, and I feel like Zemeckis forgot to put that in for the beginning of the movie too.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I don't know. I don't know. Just roll with it. I just roll with it.
Yes.
But of course, we get the end credits, and one of the and actually the song that they actually played in the credits is "God Bless Us Everyone," which Alan Silvestri and Glenn Ballard wrote, and it was performed by Italian classical crossover tenor Andrea Bocelli. And that's the song that's being played in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
And I do apologize if I mispronounce his name. Andrea Bocelli. If that's his name, I do apologize if I mispronounced his name, by the way.
I really love his song.
It's a really good song. It really is.
I wouldn't imagine if this song was nominated for an Oscar.
It wasn't nominated for some reason. It wasn't nominated, but this is a really good song.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's pretty much it for the movie. So, yeah, there's our breakdown right here, folks.
Yep. And I feel like this movie still holds up to this day.
It does. I feel like this movie holds up pretty well. I guess if you can overlook what Robert Zemeckis wrote in this movie, it's still a good movie.
Even though it does have its problems.
Like, it's uncanny, to be quite honest. Yes. It's uncanny. Even there are times where, like, yeah, it did get a little dark, but at the same time, that's the point of the book, right? The book is not supposed. It's not really your typical lighthearted story, right? Yes, we get a happy ending, which is great, but this is a story where it's teaching you a lesson, right?
Yes.
You gotta turn away from sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the most important thing. That turning away from sin, like Scrooge throughout his life, throughout his last days, was being a bitter old man who hates Christmas, doesn't like life, only cares for greed, right?
Yes, but Jacob Marley came in.
But of course, Jacob Marley came in and warns him if you continue down this greedy path, the rest of your life will be miserable.
With the chains.
Right, with these chains. And thankfully though, Scrooge is not even wearing those chains.
No.
And he was given another chance.
And he did.
He did. So he was able to turn away from sin.
Yes, turn away from sin.
Yeah, and that was the whole point of this movie. That's the whole point of this movie. Don't stay on this dark path. Get out of it. Turn away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Turn away from it. There is a lot more in life than you can imagine.
Just move forward.
Move forward, but do better in life.
Yes.
And Scrooge was able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie shows Scrooge what life would be like if he continues down this greedy path, right? Even in the movie, It's a Wonderful Life. It's like A Christmas Carol, but the only difference is, what would life be like without George Bailey?
Yeah.
Because of the help that George Bailey provided for the people around him.
Yeah, the people helped George Bailey.
He helped a lot of people. George Bailey helped a lot of people in that movie. The same can be said with Ebeneezer Scrooge, although it's the exact opposite. For Scrooge, it's basically, if you continue down this greedy path, your life is going to become miserable. Your life is going to become more miserable than ever. As dark of a movie it is, it's basically, it's kind of like teaching you a lesson of hey, don't continue down this dark path. If you continue down this dark path, the rest of your life is going to be miserable.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the writing, I'll be honest, I feel like the writing is all over the place.
Writing's all over the place, but for what it was, it still works.
Yes.
Even if some of the moments, the Ghost of Christmas Present dissolving into a corpse,
mm-hmm.
or even Jacob Marley's jawline breaking and mumbling the mankind line is a bit goofy and silly.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the visual, obviously, let's be honest, it is uncanny for the visuals, but it still works.
Yes, it still works. The visual effects were awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
And also, Jim Carrey did a fantastic job playing Ebeneezer Scrooge.
Right, including all three spirits.
Yes, also Colin Firth, Gary Oldman, Bob Hoskins, Robert Wright Penn, Carrie Elways, and everyone else involved in this movie did a fantastic job
Yeah.
blending their voices.
Mm-hmm.
And Alan Silvestri's musical score deserves a lot of credit.
Yep.
Because he really brings it in.
Mm-hmm.
He has done a lot of great musical scores from Robert Zemeckis, including other movies like Captain America: The First Avenger, Marvel's The Avengers 1, 3, and 4. He also done Lilo and Stitch.
Right. And Back to the Future.
He also did Predator, Stuart Little 1 and 2, including The Croods, along with The Parent Trap.
Right.
And of course, he will be composing 2 more Avengers movies.
Right. And then oddly enough, I say the movie's still good. It's a good movie to watch.
Even though it's uncanny.
Even if the movie is uncanny, it's still a fun movie. It's still a good movie to watch.
Especially around the Christmas holidays.
Right. But other than that, that's about it. So there you have it, folks. That is our take on Disney's A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, but I appreciate you inviting me back to your episode of Codo Cinema, Mark.
Yep.
I gotta tell you, this was a good topic to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yep. To anyone who is listening, what did you guys think of Disney's A Christmas Carol? Did you like this movie? Did you not like this movie? Did you think this movie was okay? Does this movie still hold up? Did you think this was a good Christmas Carol adaptation? I would love to hear your thoughts.
This is obviously a good Christmas Carol adaptation.
In our opinion, it is. I mean, sure, it won't top the other adaptations, but it's still good.
It's still up there.
Right. But anyway, that'll be a wrap for this episode. Thank you all for tuning into Codo Cinema. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codoman.
I'm Mike Codo.
Remember to watch movies and stay positive.